Max and the Roaring Beast. The house was usually a quiet place. Max liked quiet. Max was a cat who appreciated the silence. It gave him time to think. He was currently sitting under the big wooden dining table, surrounded by chair legs that looked like a forest of wooden trees. This was one of his favorite spots. From here, he could see everything, but nothing could reach him. He was grooming his paw, smoothing down the brown stripes on his leg, when he heard the sound. Click, clack. Max stopped grooming. His ears, which were already folded flat against his head because of his old scar, twitched nervously. He knew that sound. It was the sound of the hall closet opening. Then came the second sound. Thump. Drag. Thump. Max's eyes went wide. His pupils turned into big black saucers. The humans were bringing out the beast. You might know the beast as a vacuum cleaner, but to Max it was a loud, hungry monster that lived in the closet. It had a long, winding tail that plugged into the wall, and when it woke up, it screamed so loud that Max could feel the floor vibrate under his paws. Click! The button was pressed. The beast roared to life. Max pressed his belly flat against the wooden floor under the table. He wanted to run upstairs and hide under the bed. That was the smart thing to do. That was the easy thing to do. But then, Max saw something that made his heart stop. In the middle of the living room rug, right in the path of the beast, sat Squeaks. Squeaks was a little gray toy mouse filled with catnip. He was Max's best friend. Squeaks was small and helpless. He couldn't run. He couldn't hide. He just stared up at the ceiling with his little threaded eyes, unaware that the roaring, sucking machine was heading straight for him. The human pushing the vacuum didn't see the tiny toy. They were pushing the beast back and forth, getting closer and closer to the rug. Vroom. Vroom. Closer. Vroom. Max felt a shiver run down his spine. He was scared. His heart was beating fast. Thump, 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 thump. He looked at the stairs leading to safety. He could run. He could leave Squeaks behind. Squeaks was just a toy, right? Max reached up with a paw and brushed the scar on top of his head. He remembered how he got that scar. He had been through scary things before. He had survived hard times. A hero doesn't leave a friend behind, Max thought. He realized something important right then. Courage isn't about not being scared. Courage is being scared, but moving your paws anyway. Max took a deep breath. He wiggled his bottom. He focused his eyes on Squeaks. The vacuum was only a few feet away now. The noise was deafening. It sounded like a thunderstorm inside the house. Now, Max shot out from under the table like a streak of brown lightning. He didn't run away from the noise. He ran toward it. The wind from the machine blew his whiskers back. The floor shook. He reached the middle of the rug. He opened his mouth and, chomp, grabbed Squeaks by the scruff of his neck. The vacuum pushed forward. It was huge. It cast a giant shadow over Max. Max spun around. His paws scrambled for grip on the rug. He pushed off hard, launching himself back toward the safety of the wooden floor. He slid under the table just as the beast rolled over the spot where Squeaks had been sitting a second ago. Max didn't stop sliding until he hit the wall on the other side of the room. He dropped Squeaks gently onto the floor. He checked the toy with his nose. Squeaks was safe. A little dusty, but safe. Max lay down, panting. His chest was heaving up and down. He was still trembling a little bit because the adrenaline was still rushing through him. The vacuum continued to roar around the room, eating dust and crumbs. But Max wasn't cowering anymore. He sat up tall. He licked the fur on his chest to smooth it down. He looked at his reflection in the glass of the patio door. He saw a cat with funny folded ears and a scar on his head. But he didn't look broken. He looked like a guardian. He had faced the loud, scary thing to save something small. Eventually, the noise stopped. The sudden silence was beautiful. The human put the beast back in the closet and closed the door. Click. Max picked up Squeaks in his mouth and carried him back to his checkered box. He curled up around his toy, tucking his nose under his tail. He felt very tired, but very good. He learned that day that courage comes in all sizes. Sometimes it's big, like fighting a dragon. But sometimes courage is just a small cat running across a rug to save a little gray mouse.